Getting paid is one of the most frustrating processes of running a small business. You've done the work, you've sent out your invoice, and now nothing. Just crickets, just waiting to get paid. You paid your bills, you covered your payroll, and now you're just waiting for it to come in. Sending reminders, making phone calls, sometimes begging to get paid for the work that you've completed. For some people, it's beyond frustrating. It's awkward. It's embarrassing. You don't like making those phone calls. Fear not, you're not alone, and I'm here to help. My name is Dan Murch. I'm the owner of Blue Collar Back Office, and that is what we do. We specialize in helping small businesses, particularly in the trades and construction field, help run their finances, run their businesses, streamline their processes, get paid faster, and have better cash flow. Like I said, you are not alone, especially if you started off as a one-person shop. You have a passion. There's something that you're really good at, and you're out in the field and you're doing the work and you're creating revenue. You're connecting with people. You're generating clients. You're generating revenue. And sometimes the administrative stuff shifts over to the back burner. Okay. Don't be hard on yourself, but it's really important to be on top of the administrative stuff on your business. Like we talked about in previous videos, cash flow and not having enough of it is a major stress on you and a major stress on your business. And no matter how good you are at what you do, no matter how special your craft is and how magical your sauce is, if you're not getting paid, the doors can't stay open. So today we're going to work on some things that you could be doing to make sure that you're tightening up your invoice process, you're getting paid quicker, and you have the cash flow to achieve everything that you want to achieve, the reason why you started this business in the first place. In the video today, we're going to talk about a few key things that you can do that will really make a difference. One is managing the administration time that needs to be set aside to process your invoices, things like automating the process. Number two, clear communication with your clients to make sure the terms are set up front. Everybody knows what the expectation is, and shortening that window that you're expected to wait to get paid. And number three, some of the options that you have to let the system work for you to be communicating with your clients. And again, being the squeaky wheel that gets the grease, so to speak. And lastly, we'll talk about some of the options that you have available to present to your clients to give them easier options to pay you. Because in life, if something's easy, people are more likely to do it. The harder you make something, the more likely it is to get pushed off to the side. The first thing is setting aside the time that you need to actually work on your invoicing. At a bare minimum, at least once a week, you should have a block of time on your calendar, whether it's a half hour, 45 minutes, an hour. It doesn't have to be an entire day. You should have a block of time on your calendar that you are focused on your invoicing. It shouldn't just be when you get a chance to do it. It shouldn't be 10:30 at night after you put the kids to bed. It should be set aside and dedicated and done, just like all the rest of the things that you do in your week. And when you do that, you get a consistent pattern. Your invoices go out on time. Nothing slips through the cracks. You're not the reason that you're getting held up on making payment. Now, I know for a lot of you, you did not start your business so that you can be in the office and so that you could be doing bookkeeping and so that you could be doing numbers. But sometimes there's just things that you have to do to run an operational business. There's things that you have to do in life that you don't necessarily like, but you know you have to do them. Think of it like changing a baby's diaper. You need to do it. It has to be done. So set aside the time and get it done, and you'll be happy that you did. The next thing you want to do is right up front, before you even start the job, in your contract with your clients and in your communication with your clients, you want to make sure you are setting clear expectations for payment. And don't just be like vague, or just a small fine print of net 30. Have a conversation up front about what the project is, the schedule, and what your payment terms are. And depending on the size of your project, if it's large enough, if it's like more than a 1-day job, or even if it is a 1-day job, anytime that you can set a payment term that involves getting a deposit before the start of work, that's just getting you ahead of the cash flow game. You're going to have to lay out for material. You're going to have to lay out for labor. You're going to have to lay out for your subs and things like that. So if you can get a 25 or 50% deposit right off the bat, that's just helping you not have to be the bank for every single job that you run. You also have the ability to do progress invoicing where, 25% up front, another 25% after rough inspections, another 25%, however you want to lay it out, depending on the type of project that you're running, you have those options available to you, which we're going to go through today, some of these things in QuickBooks Online. I'm going to show you how easy it is to set up the system to work for you. And then so right from get-go, Everybody knows what the expectation is, and it's less fighting and awkwardness down the road because before the project even starts, the client knows what's expected of them. The next thing we're going to talk about is letting the system work for you. We're in QuickBooks Online. We're in the sample company, our little playground that we have where we can do anything that we want. And when we get out, it resets. And there's so many tools and options available for you to let the system do the work so that it's not all falling back on you. So first of all, starting right off the top, we're just in our settings and we come into sales, and there's all sorts of different things you can do on top in terms of how you want to label your invoice and everything else like that. But as you come down here, look at all these options that you have that once you turn on, just work for you. So first of all, collecting late fees. That's an option that you have. You can turn on late fees, and you have a lot of different options in terms of turning it on. You can do it by a set amount. You can do it by a percentage. You can do it by once per invoice, per month, per day. You can allow a grace period. You can do all sorts of things in here that once you get the system set up, it works. It doesn't have to be a gigantic amount, but anything that helps the client understand that there's a penalty and there is a consequence for paying you late will help you get paid faster. The next thing that we talked about, like I said, is progress invoicing. You turn it on the system. It allows you to create an estimate for $10,000. And then off of that one estimate, just keep creating invoices. It creates a nice chain of what's happened. It's very easy to follow, very easy to understand. Your clients understand it. So one of the things when you're sending out your invoices and you're sending out your estimates, you want them to be very easy to understand, very clear, very straightforward, not kind of, vague. Because again, when something's easy, people are likely to do it. When somebody understands something, they're likely to do it. So if your estimate is very confusing and wordy and not really sure what the price is, not really sure what the terms are, it's gonna cut down on the amount of sales that you land, and it's going to cut down on how quickly you get paid. If your invoice is straightforward, here's the invoice, here's how much I'm billing you for, et cetera, et cetera. Here's the total job. I've billed you so far this much. You've paid me this much. Here's the balance due. That's all very easy to understand. And then people are likely to pay your bill quicker. You can set it up so that the system automatically sends out reminders to your clients for you. And you can set it up all these different ways to 3 days before the due date, just a friendly, hey, just reminding you, your invoice is coming up. If you have any questions, please reach out to us. You can send another reminder on the due date. And then again, you can send a reminder past the due date. And you can change these days, whether it's 10 days later, 3 days before, 5 days before, whatever. But you set this up once, and then the system does it automatically for you. You're not constantly chasing it down. You're not having to make, 20 different phone calls every week and having that awkward conversation. Let the system work for you. Like I said, be the squeaky wheel. People that are constantly getting reached out to and having conversations and constantly being reminded, that's good communication. If they have a question, if they have a concern, they're going to come back to you and raise that concern with you so that you can address it and you can get paid. If you send out an invoice once and the customer wasn't happy with something that was done and they never hear from you again, they're just going to wait. They're not happy with the job. So why are they going to pay you? They're not happy. They're not satisfied. They didn't get what they paid for in their mind. And if they never hear from you again, that gap just keeps growing. And you're sitting there wondering why you're not getting paid. They're sitting there wondering why you're not reaching out to them. And there's just silence and there's nothing happening. And you're still paying your bills and you're still waiting to get paid. You put the system to work for you. And when they get a reminder, I guarantee you they're going to reach out to you like, hey, you want to get paid, then we need to have a conversation. And then whatever the problem is, you can solve it. Or whatever the misunderstanding is, you can solve it. But again, this is stuff that you don't have to be physically doing. You can continue to be running your business, being in your field, working on the craft that you're special at, and let the system work for you. The last thing I want to talk about is giving your clients different options to make payment to you. Now, traditionally, most people pay cash or check. But obviously, in today's day and age, there are a lot of different options out there. There's pay ACH, Venmo, Zelle, credit cards. There's a lot of different ways to get paid. QuickBooks offers a lot of those options. Now, just with any other service, there is a fee associated with it. ACH is typically much less, will cost you much less in terms of your fees than what credit cards will cost you. However, it kind of depends on the types of projects you run, the types of clientele that you have, whether it's worth it to you or not to take on the additional cost burden of taking on credit card fees, merchant service fees, things like that. Depending on the type of service that you use, in QuickBooks, you can't do this, but there are other merchant services out there where you do have the option of saying to somebody, hey, you want to pay by credit card? That's great. But if you do, there is a fee of X amount of dollars that you have to pay in order to do that. Then at least you're giving your client the option of, hey, pay me via ACH, no fee at all. Pay me via credit card, and there's a 3% processing fee. You're giving your client the choice, and they can decide whether they want the points on their credit card or whatever the case may be. And you're lessening the hurt that you're taking by offering credit cards. But what you're doing overall by offering these different options is making it easier to get paid. And the easier it is to get paid, the quicker you will get paid. Just like I've been talking about throughout this entire video. The easier you make something, the more likely it is to be done. So make it easy for people to pay you, and you will get paid faster. So to wrap up everything we talked about, these simple things that you can put in place can really help your business, really help shorten the window that you're waiting to get paid. First of all, set aside the time on your calendar to be working on these things. Second, make sure you have clear communication with your clients. There are clear expectations of what the payment terms are. Preferably involves getting paid some money up front. Third, let the system work for you. Turn on your reminders. Turn on late fees. Send out statements. The system can do all this for you. If you're in the type of business where you're sending recurring bills out to your clients because you do the same monthly service for them every month, set it up once. And then forget it and let the system send the invoice every month. And lastly, make it easy for people to pay you. ACH, credit cards, Venmo, PayPal, whatever. Make it easy, get paid. Now, if you found this video helpful, hit the like button below and subscribe for more videos where we offer financial tips on the things that you should be doing to run your small business more efficiently. In the next video, we're going to talk about trying to avoid that feast or famine cycle, that roller coaster of being cash flush and cash poor throughout the year, throughout the different seasons, and the things that you can do to help even out that flow. Thank you all for watching. Have a great day.